Right. So if you'd like to open your chat boxes and just let me know whether you can hear me or not, that would be really appreciated. So welcome again to the webinar, Building a High Performance Culture. We'll commence shortly. In the meantime, as I said, if you can just type in that chat box whether you can hear me or not, that'd be fantastic. So I'm getting audio is great. Thanks, Fiona. All right. So we'll just give it a moment or two. Maybe if you'd like to put in your chat box just how your day's been going so far. All right. Okay, I think we'll kick off now. If anybody comes in, they can log in as they come in a little bit later. So thank you for investing your time today and to learn how to build a high performance culture in your business. The fact that you are here puts you in a minority of businesses that consider culture is an important factor of business success. So congratulations. A quick introduction for me. In 2013, I had one of those aha moments. You see, Robin and I had been married for 35 years and we'd spent a significant amount of time living away from home in the pursuit of chasing my career and business goals. It was at that time that I asked myself, why are we doing this? I immediately made a decision that when my next contract finished, I was going to find a business that I could work from home with. So to cut a long story short, I came across the Action Coach franchise and the rest is history. Not only did I get to stay at home with Robin and also work from home, I also found, excuse me, my why in life. That is what I stand for. And that is inspiring business success and achievement one step at a time. I'm very honoured and feel very privileged to have gained significant business knowledge throughout my 30 years in corporate and the last 13 years of being in business for myself. During that time, I've been responsible for implementing significant cultural change in many different environments, and I look forward to sharing some of this with you today. So, please, if you haven't already, open your chat box at the bottom of your screen. Please do so now. You can post any question or comments that you have throughout the webinar, and I will get to them as they pop up, or we can have a question and answer period at the end of the webinar. Okay. So I've just been through that. Sorry, I've had pulled up the wrong screen. So what is company culture? Company culture is the synthesis of values, vision, mission, and purpose. And it sits at the centre of any successful business. And it doesn't matter whether that is a big business or a small business. It applies for both. It's the cohesive atmosphere that permeates a company and directly affects the way people think and work within that company. Culture is not something that can be fabricated when one is lacking, as no amount of company perks, cool furniture, or hip employees create culture. It's more than that. It is one of the most important things to get right in order to become a successful company. A strong internal culture is necessary to create strong, lasting brands. Let's take a look at what it takes to get there. So it starts with what you stand for. What your company is and what it stands for is as important to your business as the products or services that you sell. So identifying what it is that you stand for is at your core. It's essential to know how you live and perform. In short, it's your company's values and getting to the heart of those values that means everything for your business. In the business world, things often move fast, often so fast that people never stop to reflect on what the business is becoming. This is mostly due to the mindset that stopping breaks the workflow and is considered a hit to performance. But never taking that moment means that many businesses end up operating in a continuous loop, making the same mistakes again and again, working blind to the change and evolution that is taking place. So in Keith Cunningham's book, The Road Less Stupid, he actually talks and mentions this a lot about actually stopping and taking some thinking time. Think where you're at. What have you achieved? What are, where is the business actually heading right now? So a company shift from its performance to its purpose can make all the difference in how people are hired, how people work, and how the company performs. Looking at why the company does what it does, and not just focusing on what it does or how it does it, creates the starting point for developing or fostering culture. Some examples of companies with purpose, just a couple that I've picked out is Ramsay Health Care. What they stand for is people caring for people. Qantas Airways, what they stand for is to be a great airline that champions the spirit of Australia. So I think with both of those examples, we can really relate to that. Defining your purpose and why you exist in business is important in setting the foundation of your culture. Finding your company's why allows you to start working on identifying your values. Values are at the heart of the decisions we make, and they influence behaviour and attitude. Thus, when a company has defined values, they attract people that align with those values, including people who are positive, committed, and energised by their work. Ultimately, this creates a culture-breeding chain reaction that filters right down to the customer. And here's why. Firstly, values help to build culture. Secondly, the culture helps employees feel motivated. Thirdly, the employee motivation is a driving factor for customer satisfaction. So how your employees greet your customers, how does your customer walk away? Are they feeling satisfied or are they feeling delighted? And then fourthly, the customer satisfaction then builds the revenue for the business. Since the culture of a company is a reflection of its values, it is the culture that is responsible for many aspects of the performance and the output of a company. A strong culture means better job retention. If employees have a sense of belonging, then they are more apt to want to stay. Culture is the checks and balances. Hiring is based on the company's values, and the training and fostering of new employees are driven by the company's culture. A strong culture is created by the energy and motivation of valued employees. So, performance is the result of all of these things. If you employ people who are excited about what they do and believe in what they do, you will experience higher performance rates, as your employees will be working towards the one goal, with your company's values at the core of their motivation. So it's important to clearly identify what those core goals and values are. One challenge when aiming to create a high-performance company culture might be the ingrained behaviours and processes that have carried the company up to the point of necessary change. To make that happen, a leader must be able to inspire employees into action, and the proposed changes must be clear and well considered, and the company as a whole must be involved. So one of the keys to a winning team is 100% involvement and inclusion. Keep in mind that sudden changes can be perceived as negative. It is a company leader's responsibility not to make it an attack on the past. Instead, it should be presented as a step into the future, only made possible with the help of the team. If you're an older company, there will have been many employees pass through the company in that time. Some of it will be a legacy of history. We don't want to go there. It's about where we're going in the future and what are we going to achieve in the future. In a high performance culture, there tends to be open, fluid lines of communication. The flow of information should be constant and free. It must come from the top leadership on down to the entry-level worker. An open line of communication is important for a team dynamic to thrive, as an informed employee makes the best company ambassador. As a leader, you want to make sure internal communication is a priority. To ensure those messages are getting out, ask yourself these questions. Firstly, has everyone been informed? Second, is this information important to build stronger teams? And then finally, will this information affect jobs? When employees feel that they are informed, they are more likely to stay engaged in the work at hand. A key ingredient to a high-performance culture is transparency. For instance, withholding your company's financial status is not an open, informed way to run your business. Providing transparency as to how the company is performing builds trust with your team and keeps them informed and connected to the work that they do and how it relates to the bigger picture. Just think, if the team is left in the dark about how the company is doing, how can you expect them to make sudden dramatic improvements with what they do? Sharing your company's numbers gives employees a sense of ownership. If you're not sharing this information, then how do you expect your employees to know what to aim for? What is the goal? Having your employees work not knowing to what end is not a culture-growing design. Try to build rapport by setting up quarterly meetings with your team and show them all angles of the company's health. So what's important here is identifying what are the key and core numbers associated with your business that drives its success. Once you identify what those numbers are, then share them with the team. Once the team know where you're heading and what you're trying to achieve, they'll want to jump on board and help in any way that they can. If you engage your team members and show them that you value them, then the majority are going to want to be part of your company's culture. Thinking of the future is a big picture look at the company, but you want to look at more than numbers and performance. As an employee's role in your success or failure is one of the most important things to consider when trying to predict what that future holds. Make your employees a part of the growth. If there are roles to fill or projects that need a leader, look within your organisation first to find employees with the skills and, more importantly, the ambition to fill the roles. Play to their strengths and nurture your team on the individual level. Notice the work that they are doing, use them as a positive example, and show them that they are valued. After all, a high-performance culture is sustained by employees that feel valued, noticed, nurtured. Using a quote from Richard Branson really reflects this point. Clients do not come first, employees come first. If you take care of your employees, they will take care of the clients. When considering your company's purpose and performance as a whole, it is important to look at motivation. It doesn't matter if the team member is in a leadership role or has just started in an entry-level position. They should all be able to articulate how the business that they do plays into the broader company picture. For an employee to be informed at that level, it is your job to make sure that you have the information necessary to understand the importance of their work and how it is working for the greater good. When employees are not clear on what their work means or how it affects others, they are more likely to become disengaged. And a disengaged team does not feed into a high-performance culture. Every team member in every department should be clear on their role in the company. Knowledge gives purpose to the work being done, and having a sense of purpose fuels sustained culture of productivity. Being clear about your company's goals and targets means that your team will also be informed and excited when you reach milestones. One way to keep the culture of a motivated team member strong is to take the time to celebrate those milestones, as celebrating successes builds engagement and forms teams that are all working towards similar goals. Here are some fun ideas for celebrating. Maybe offer small bonuses such as gift cards or tickets to a show, maybe a paid weekend away for their partner for more significant achievements. Offering cash bonuses is not always a great idea. Another idea might be to have a family-inclusive barbecue with the whole team. Create a special award for high-performing individuals or departments. Another way might be to hold an all-company off-site meeting to commend your team on their success. I've had an example of a business that used to hold quarterly off-site meetings as a reward to the team, which was basically a meal and some drinks afterwards. It was interesting. I challenged them, well, while you've got the whole team together, have you ever considered having a State of the Nation presentation about your business, where you're currently at, what are some of the achievements that you've achieved? More importantly, what are some of the things that you're going to be doing in the future just to help keep the team engaged? Interesting, the business owner said, no, never thought of doing that before. It's now a regular part of what they do. Team members who are engaged put energy and excitement into the work that they create. If you want to build a strong company culture and maintain or hire a team who is loyal to the work, you must engage all of them. Again, referring to the 7 keys to a winning team, 100% of inclusion and involvement is an important factor in a winning team. Culture is a collective concept and is produced by groups of people. What your company creates together and how it performs together is at the heart of that culture, and not merely in the hands of the leaders. Again, that 100% inclusion and involvement. The most successful companies understand the input of all of their employees, and it is through all the steps we've mentioned that you engage. Transparency, nurturing, motivation, communication, and celebrating milestones. Now let's look at some of the other key factors. How you choose to compensate your team in a transparent environment is important. While you do not have to be open to compensation sharing, giving your employees a clear idea of what your structure looks like can help incentivize them. You first have to figure out what that structure will be. Here are some things to consider. For the employees, are you providing fair compensation? Is it enough to keep your employees motivated? When you think about your clients, will your employee compensation terms keep your teams motivated to service your clients in a genuine way? Within the company, will your pay structure keep the positive, motivated energy alive in your company culture? These are the questions that you need to answer. Taking a good look at your company, its values and purpose can happen on more micro levels as well. For instance, it is important when hiring someone that you know exactly what you are looking for before you post an ad for the job. You should be crystal clear on what your goal is for hiring and also certain about what type of personality would be best for the culture of your company. As part of your recruitment process, it is essential to create a person profile in addition to the position description prior to creating the job ad. Now, this will enable you to target the right type of candidates for the role. It's also important here that the job ad, the importance of the job ad is about not only attracting the right candidates, but also having candidates disqualify themselves so that they're not wasting your time when they apply. If you're considering bringing personality profiling into your assessment model, you first need to decide how you want to use it. Will you be testing current employees to help them better play to their strengths? Or will you be using it to determine if a candidate is the right position, is right for the position you want to fill? Maybe it's both, but either way, the why needs to be communicated to your entire team. Let's look at how personality profiling may assist you and your business. For more than 20 years, Assessments 24/7 has provided business consultants, executive coaches, and Fortune 500 companies with the instruments to optimize hiring processes, boost employee productivity, and maximizing performance. Assessments work by introducing scientific measurements to someone's critical thinking skills, their motivations, the potential skill proficiencies, their work styles, and also the behavioural characteristics and personal values. Today, we're going to focus on DISC motivators. So the DISC profile centres around 4 categories of behaviour. D stands for discipline, I for influence, S for steadiness, and C for conscientiousness. It's important to note that within each of our own personality profiles, we all have a degree of D, I, S, and C at varying levels. What DISC helps us to understand is, firstly, it enables us as individuals to better understand the way that we think and act, and also identify that other people have other attributes and may think and act differently to what we do. Secondly, DISC allows us as individuals to learn how we can adapt our styles to improve communication and relationships with our peers, superiors, our customers, and even in family and other social situations. And then thirdly, it allows you as a leader to better understand the different profiles of your staff and how you can improve communication and overall team performance. The Motivators Assessment measures variances among 7 key dimensions of personal motivation. So firstly, the motivators, the first one is aesthetic, a drive for balance, harmony, and form. Economic is a drive for economic or practical returns. Not only financial, it can also include how you utilizing your time and how others may be impacting on your time. Individualistic, a drive to stand out as an independent and unique. Power is about a drive to be in control or have influence. Altruistic is a drive for humanitarian efforts, help others altruistically. And regulatory, a drive to establish order, routine, and structure. And then the final one is theoretical, a drive for knowledge, learning, and understanding. The Motivators Assessment is able to offer the practical applications and insights necessary to maximise performance and project outcomes. This is great in helping you make informed decisions. For example, maybe you are looking for a salesperson and need a more outgoing personality. Or maybe you need or are looking for a designer and want a vision-orientated, creative person. You can think of the assessments as being an MRI test constructed to evaluate the real and reveal someone's complete cognitive makeup. This is the things that you can't get out of traditional interviewing processes. Simply put, modern online assessments reduce risk and take the guesswork out of the greatest business variable of them all, and that is human capital. Let's talk about core assessments. There are 5 core assessments which measure a different but equally important aspect of human behaviour or cognition. In essence, each addresses one of the 5 core aspects of the human personality. There are no right or wrong answers, but different styles that define an individual's characteristics in each of these 5 categories. The 5 core assessments are DISC, which measures behavioural styles, Motivators, which measures the motivational styles, the Hartman Value Profile, which measures thinking styles, EIQ measures the emotional intelligence style, and then Learning Styles measures learning styles. Every business has experienced a product, employee, or service failure. It comes with the territory. One of the best ways to feed your company culture and to grow is to openly address your failures and be open to discussion and feedback from your team. Failure can lead to more failure unless you are willing to learn to look at each failure and use it to your advantage to help propel your company forward. And then finally, feedback. Asking for feedback from your employees is a great way to best assess your own performance. It's also a constructive way to help you reflect and grow and succeed as a leader. Good times to ask for feedback is before or after company meetings, at annual reviews. Have a quarterly program in place to ask for feedback. And then finally, in the moment, there are always instances that prop up that you could ask for some feedback. Keep in mind that your response after receiving the feedback is just as important as asking. Remember, they are only trying to help you in providing a different viewpoint. Another opportunity in a more formal way for getting feedback is through a 360-degree behavioural profile. What if you had an enhanced 360-degree view of yourself? In other words, imagine having the ability to process the collective perceptions of how others see you. The 360 behavioural profile enables users to compare and contrast their own self-assessment with the observer assessments of dozens of his or her colleagues or other employees. These are also done confidentially. So if everything goes well, you're ready to start building your high-performance culture. I hope you've found value in building a high-performance culture, and I would be honoured to receive feedback or any further questions. Best of luck to all the amazing companies who have fearless leaders here in attendance today. So we have some time for Q&As. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box now, and we will answer them as they come through. So again, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. Okay, so there's nothing coming through at the moment. So let's move on. So for some additional reading material or resources to help you in your quest for improving your company culture, is the first one is Keith Cunningham, The Road Less Stupid. Another is Natalia Blagovia, Leadership Drives Culture, Culture Drives Performance. Another one is Jeremy Bloom, This is What It Means to Embrace Failure. William Craig with his 8 Ways of Company Culture Drives Performance. And then finally, Andrew Silito, How to Create a Performance Culture. So if you'd like any of those references, please email me and I will pass them on to you. All right, so many thanks for attending my event. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to be able to share this lesson with people who are ready to start making a difference for themselves and their incredible team. Now it's time to get started. So please reach out if you have any other questions or concerns. I'm here to help. If you are serious about building a better culture in your business, getting to know and understand yourself, your employees and your customers is a great starting point. So as a reward for investing your time and interest in building a better culture, I'm offering you access to the DISC and Motivators assessments for $99, which is normally priced at $199. And this does include a one-to-one debriefing on you and your team's reports. This offer will remain open until the 2nd of December, and you must email me now to take advantage of that offer. Please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. I'm here to help. So I had a fantastic time today. Please feel free to reach out and with any questions that you may have. I hope that this event, Building a High Performance Culture, exceeded your expectations and that you now feel more knowledgeable and ready to start making those changes necessary to building a strong culture in your company and your business. Stay tuned for the details for more interesting business topics on my monthly webinar series commencing in January. And please remember to make each day the best that you can.